I noticed it first in the way she began leaving the house later than usual, claiming work deadlines or sudden errands. I wanted to trust her, to believe in the rhythm of our life together, but a small, persistent unease gnawed at me. Something had shifted, a subtle dissonance I couldn't name. I kept telling myself I was imagining it, that love meant trust, that I shouldn't let suspicion shadow my heart. But the signs were relentless. The phone she carried constantly, the hushed whispers when it rang, the faint smell of a cologne I didn't recognize clinging to her clothes. She smiled at me, but there was a distance in her eyes, a distraction in her tone. I tried to ignore it, tried to chalk it up to stress or fatigue, but the late nights kept stacking, piling one upon another, each adding weight to a growing dread. One evening, I decided to follow her, not out of malice, but because my instincts screamed that I needed the truth. I stayed hidden behind the shadows as she drove through familiar streets, eventually parking near a quiet cafe on the outskirts of town. There, in the dim light spilling from the windows, I saw him. A man I had never met, laughing as she leaned toward him with an intimacy that had once been mine. My chest tightened. My stomach churned. I felt betrayed in a way words could barely touch, as if the home I had built with her had been hollowed from the inside out. I didn't confront her then. I stayed in the shadows, observing, letting the painful clarity sink in. The late nights were never about work. They were about hiding him from me, hiding her feelings, hiding a world I had never been allowed to see. When she returned home, I waited, letting the silence stretch until the moment felt unbearable. "We need to talk," I said finally, my voice breaking despite my attempt at calm. Her face fell, a fleeting panic passing through her eyes. She tried to form words, but I interrupted. "I know," I said. "I know what you've been doing. I know about him." The room was thick with tension. Her excuses came out haltingly, half-truths she hoped might soften the blow. "I didn't mean for this to happen," she whispered. I just needed attention I wasn't getting from us." I listened, absorbing her words, feeling the storm of heartbreak, anger, and disbelief ripple through me. I realized then that love alone could not bridge a chasm created by deceit. I had trusted blindly, had ignored the warning signs, and in doing so, had allowed her to hide a part of her heart from me. In the days that followed, I moved through our home like a ghost, haunted by the echoes of laughter that now belonged to someone else. I replayed memories, trying to locate the precise moment when things had shifted, when trust had begun to crack. And slowly, amid the grief, I felt the stirrings of clarity. Her late nights, her secrets, her betrayal, while devastating, had shown me something vital. My heart deserved honesty, my life deserved respect, and I could no longer compromise my self-worth for the sake of love that had become shadowed by deceit. Packing my things was surreal. Each object I touched carried the weight of memory, of moments shared and moments lost. But with each item, I felt a growing sense of liberation, a reclaiming of my life from the shadow of her choices. "I can't stay here," I said finally, voice calm but firm. "I need honesty. I need trust. And I can't find that where secrets have been allowed to flourish." She didn't argue. There was no desperate pleading, no frantic promise to change. Only a long, quiet understanding. And in that understanding, I felt the first genuine relief I had known since discovering her betrayal. I had chosen myself. I had chosen clarity, self-respect, and a life unshackled by deception. The weeks that followed were heavy with grief, but each day brought small victories. A morning without dread, a night without fear, moments of quiet reflection that reminded me of my strength. I reconnected with friends, pursued passions long neglected, and gradually rebuilt a life shaped by truth and intention rather than lies and avoidance. I realized that betrayal, as painful as it is, can reveal resilience. It exposes not only the flaws in those we love, but also the strength within ourselves, the courage to face the truth, to honor our hearts, and to refuse to accept less than we deserve. Months later, walking alone through a park bathed in early sunlight, I felt the weight of grief ease slightly. I remembered her, the life we shared, and the late nights she claimed were for work. I didn't feel bitterness, only understanding and quiet determination. The late nights had revealed her betrayal, but they had also revealed my own power to survive, heal, and reclaim my life. I didn't hate her. I didn't dwell on resentment. I allowed myself to grieve, learn, and grow. And in doing so, I discovered a truth far more enduring than love betrayed. The importance of trusting oneself, honoring one's own heart, and moving forward with strength, clarity, and hope.